Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. You got your hosts Andrade and Irwin back on the scene. We know it's been a while, but quarantine, and that's why the setup is a little different today. You got Irwin over here, you got me over here, but we're experimenting a little. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's gonna work out. Because of that, it's not gonna be as conversation as you usually get us. Talking our thing. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we'll just jump straight into it. Erwin, are you ready for the first question?
Yo, I was waiting for this my whole life.
All right. The first question is, and heads up, guys, this is all gonna be like trivial questions because, the NBA season is over. You guys seen us cover the when it was all happening and stuff. So just a heads up. All right. Out of these four players, Erwin, whose legacy most improves if they won a ring? You got Allen Iverson, you got Karl Malone, you got Charles Barkley, and last but certainly not least, you got Steve Nash. Whose legacy improves most if they won a ring?
Mm-mm. First person that will come up for me, Andrade, would be Karl Malone, the
Okay.
mailman. Uh, Primary reason being if you just won a ring, just one, not two, I think
Yeah.
Karl Malone will be known in the NBA as an all-time the best power forward that has ever played in the NBA. If
Ever,
you have
ever?
that ring, because for him not winning that ring, he gets overshadowed by players such as Tim Duncan, to give you as an example. And I'll say if Karl Malone would have won a ring, no doubt he would have been known as the best of all time in that position at least.
Over Tim
Sec-
Duncan?
Over Tim Duncan. I say if he'll win one ring or two rings, you can make a very strong argument per se, and he wouldn't be as easily forgotten if if he would have won one. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe in an alternate universe, maybe he's the one that won five rings, and Tim Duncan maybe didn't win any. But
Yeah.
second person that would come to mind would be Charles Barkley, primarily for the reason that if Sir Charles would have won a ring, Shaq would finally back off on him, and Shaq would have to come up with another excuse whenever he gets pissed off on the TNT broadcast, saying, "Hey Chuck, how many rings did you win?" Oh, that's what I thought. I'm like, I'm curious to see what Shaq would say if Charles would have had at least one ring. So first place would be Karl Malone. I think he'll be known as the best power forward ever in the NBA if he would have won a ring. And second will come Sir Charles Barkley. What do you think, Andrade?
All right. When I'm thinking of whose legacy would improve most, I'm gonna say Charles Barkley because one, Steve Nash and Allen Iverson are already considered some of the top point guards to ever play the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they're consistently brought up in the conversation. Allen Iverson has the legacy of pushing the 76ers in his MVP season to the finals and winning that one game. And then Steve Nash has the back-to-back MVPs,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also known for helping influence the game in the way that it's kind of played now because of that D'Antoni system. And Steve Nash was one of those first players that was almost like a early prototype version of Steph Curry.
Yep.
And then Allen Iverson legacy is already so big just because of the cultural impact he had on the NBA. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a ring would definitely solidify those two regardless, but I don't think in terms of vastly improving their individual legacy it would be as big. I really think it would be Charles Barkley because Charles is already considered one of the best power forwards to ever play the game, but I think it would push him over the edge over a couple more because now he would finally have a championship ring that he was able to win in an era of like Jordan and the Bad Boy Pistons, and later on with the Rockets, and like just winning one ring during that era would have just cemented his legacy that much more. And it may be because he's a little older player, and Nash and Iverson played in a later era, a more recent era compared to now. So maybe that's why they're brought up more. I feel like Barkley as a player is a little overshadowed because of how popular he got through broadcasting, especially for newer generations. And because he's in broadcasting, it's constantly brought up on NBA on TNT about like, oh, everyone especially Shaq brags on him not having a ring. So it's like if he had one, it wouldn't you wouldn't be able to talk shit no more. You know, like there's a
Yep.
big reason Kenny never gets shit talked when it comes to championships because Kenny's got one. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think for Barkley, like Karl Malone is Karl Malone. I don't know his legacy. I feel like with one more ring, with one ring, it wouldn't like change that much in the way we view him. But with Barkley, from the way I see it, I feel like it would ump his public legacy a significant chunk, more significant than all the other players mentioned on this list. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.